Hey, and we are live. Welcome, everyone. We are currently about to stream the MWO CS23 Losers Bracket Finals, Abins vs 5JDX. It should be a very good one. We only got a couple more matches left in the season before we finally have our winners. So these three teams are slugging it out for the grand title. Um, I'm Level, as everyone knows, and here, and of course, Therex, one of our main casters of the season. We also have on our meta panel uh, to help us with this game. We have Ghosty and Shine Plasma, both from EQ.
Hi.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah. So what we're doing here is the losers bracket for today. One of these teams gets bumped back up to play in the championship match against Equilibrium in 2 weeks from now, and the other team ends up getting third place. So, we're at the end of this long tournament season here, determining the best teams. I'm hoping we have a very good match here today. Both these
It's going to
teams
be
are
exciting. Oh, it's
are
going to be
quite strong.
exciting.
Yes, absolutely. I expect it to
This,
be good games today.
yeah, we're at that level now where these teams have to play perfect. Even the slightest mistake, the other team is going to pry open and slaughter, right? So we're going to watch these pilots today try to play pixel perfect. You know what I mean? Those perfect shots, those perfect trades, perfect timing on the pushes.
Yeah, so I think we were going to talk a little bit about Mining Collective here to kind of kick things off. We got a few minutes before the match starts.
Yeah, we're gonna talk. Well, one of the most popular maps, and probably will be one of the most decisive maps of the matches here in the finals. We got mining here, Ghosty and Shine Plasma. We're gonna, for those who have been tuning in all season, and for the first time viewers, they're gonna give you a rundown of the map and how they kind of feel uh, this is going to play out, or at
I
least
mean,
things to worry about on the map. You know, things that your opponents might do.
I'm gonna go out here and say that mining generally you can kind of divide into like 4 quadrants. And we're gonna call them by like what cap they're in. So you have like the Kappa quadrant, that's Sigma 1, Epsilon, and Gamma. And then I mean realistically you also have like this box around Theta, but what you call Theta. But as you spawn, like usually teams start having like this is team 1's and this is team 2's. And really a lot about like the macro play on mining is taking control of like these areas. And these are the areas that you like take control over because there's like hard cover here, 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 here. Basically if you can get mechs here and you push the enemy behind like these lines, then this is very safe space to chill in and you have the cap. So mining at a very high level, it becomes a cap game very often.
Now, we have discussed this in previous casts about how, at least in quick play, Team 2 side has an advantage by pure win-loss ratio overall, like aggregated information. I think it has a lot to do with how this is open here, especially in quick play. Anyone who knows they're on Team 2, they're going to, if they're at a big range trader, they're going to be here. We also see that a lot in Comp 2. A trade mech using these open lanes to deny the lights on Theta, where Team 1 has the solid wall, so their traders can't shoot into Theta until they're up high.
that's certainly very common. Priority on Theta for Team 2 in both quick play and comp makes this map generally Team 2 favored, especially for control strats. And on top of having Theta priority, you know, having power positions a la smokestacks, Delta 6 high ground up here for assault mechs, Gauss rifles, and of course the back wall is extremely powerful for Team 2. These 2 power positions right here, they just give, they offer you the luxury of picking if you want to play the north or the south side of the map and react according to whatever the other team is doing from Team 1. Because theoretically, if you're playing Team 2, not only do you have theta priority and cap pressure, you should have almost perfect information.
Yeah, mining in general is like it's a very hard map to deny information on. So it's very easy to roughly know what the enemy team is doing. And so it's less of an information warfare map and more of a like head-on fight, even though mining doesn't really end in head-on fights that much. It's a very passive map at a high level.
It generally tends to be, but I'll be interested to see how that breaks down with 5J and Abbots. You know, they're both known to be pretty flexible and, at least in the past, very aggressive teams for the most part, and are both known to eschew control strats from the Team 2 side to play more aggressively and catch the opponent on Team 1 off guard. You know, which can be very effective. Like if the Team 1 team decides to really load up and get greedy against a trade strat with a lot of ERP Pop-Tarts and that sort of thing, and then you aggress on them from that Team 2 side, they can just get absolutely rolled out of the game. And either team is capable of playing either one of those two styles, so it'd be really difficult to tell how that's going to shake out until we actually spawn in here, not going to lie.
All right.
Yeah.
On that note, I think we're going to go over to the map select room and get the teams to start picking their maps here.
Ooh, map ban time. Exciting. All right. Swapping over to map ban.
Letting the teams know to get kicked off on that.
All right.
So what we've got is teams are going to be picking their maps here. This is a best of 5, so potentially all 5 maps could be played. And they are choosing the maps in the order that they will be played. Then they will go back, and the team that did not select the map gets to choose which side of the map they wish to play on.
I don't know why we keep calling it map ban. Map select.
Yeah. We'll see at least 3 maps, potentially all 5. And just waiting for the teams here. Well, we got a couple minutes, it looks like. You know, teams working their way down. Do we want to talk about, you know, perhaps preference in maps
that,
here for the
I want
teams,
to talk
or-
about the grand prize.
Oh, the grand prize.
This
Oh, yeah.
year, because of everyone simping super hard for their favorite teams, and of course the juicy rewards tournament supporters pack gave us this year, the prize pool is the largest it's been in a while. It's over 25,000 right now.
I believe that is correct.
With the lion's share going to Team 1.
So the tournament supporter pack is how the prize pool is created. Half of the proceeds of the tournament supporter pack go to MWO Comp as a prize pool, and half of it goes to the developers, Piranha Games, who actually puts the prize pool, the tournament supporter pack together. So, you know, if you buy in on the packages, either the $10 or $20 or $30 package, you get a number of different things, including some mechs with exclusive camo patterns, in-game items like cockpit items. You know, I believe there's a Warhorn here as well, and then yeah, so $25,000, pretty large prize pool for a smaller game community like this.
Yeah.
Definitely big support from the
Comp was
community.
what, at 100 teams, between 800 and 1,000 people participated.
We have the
'Cause there's-
maps being selected right now. They're coming in. Vitrix the first map, mining is the second.
It's so funny. It's Victric.
Picking mining is interesting. Because
Yeah,
as we said, the teams are so different that conceding that side pick is very interesting.
If it's a
Or-
map that you think that you're strong on, perhaps you want to play it early and not risk. You know, if it was the 4th or 5th map, then you know, if you play it second, you maybe can establish some momentum for your side.
Yeah.
I would say that the second map is the most important to win. It's
Yeah,
the
if you're-
biggest shift in mental.
If you're down 0-2, like you kind of feel it's just over. Whereas if you
Yeah.
tie it up 1-1, you know, you're
If-
still in it.
So you have a slight disadvantage going into the second map, but if you're up 2-0 after winning the second map, you're doing great. And just on like psychological factors alone, you might just win the match off of that.
So it looks like 5JDX is team 1 on Vitric. With the Abin's team 2.
Right. Yeah.
Alright, let's see what they do with mining.
Team 1 is the side that gets to Theta faster on Vitric.
True.
But yeah, as I was saying, if you go 1-1, the team that won the second map actually has like a slight advantage in terms of tilt.
Abin's getting team 2 on mining. Alright, looks like Abin's team 1 on Polar, so 5JDX team 2. What are they gonna do for Oh, I guess Crimson's that. That's right. Hibernal's the last map chosen. For a second, I thought it was Crimson for some reason.
Yeah, Hibernal's been relatively popular as a higher pick, but here the teams are electing to take Polar third and Crimson fourth. Those have been maps that have been a little bit less popular among teams in the early rounds of the tournament.
Yeah.
Right. Hibernal Rift is a pretty straightforward map, though very similar to the old Canyon Network. Competitive players are quite familiar with that map. Maybe they just want to try and take an opportunity to prove that they've been putting in the work with strats and that type of thing.
So Abin's chose team 1 for Crimson. Team 1's the stronger side, isn't it? Yeah, team 1's the side that has the Theta. And then so Hibernal, by JDX chooses team 1. It's gonna be some interesting maps today. All right.
Yeah, so just want to make sure I got that marked down correctly. Abin's going to be team 2 for the first two, then team 1 for the second, for the third and fourth, and then back to team 1 for the fifth. Or sorry, team 2 for the fifth. Right. Okay, so there's 2 switches. I need to remember that. But yeah, we're going Vitric Station to start off with. I'm going to throw up the map room again. I'm going to throw up the map room here. I don't know if anyone wants to discuss Vitric once more, but
we can at least give a rundown for the first time viewers.
We could talk about other maps as well.
I mean, we're up for pretty much anything.
Yeah. You're here at our pleasure. You'll do what we say.
Yeah, exactly.
Noted.
All right, let's get to.
Don't make me dig out my soundboard.
All right, swapping it over to the map room while you guys take it away, and then we are going to get this lobby set up.
So, is there anything interesting to talk about Vitric?
Okay, so one thing I did notice while Derek does that, I've noticed this in quick play and also in comp, casting these matches. It seems maybe I'm wrong, but it seems every team that chooses to instead fight for the top, but fight for the chicken's foot instead, loses from Team 2 side. That's just what I've noticed over the last 4 or 5 weeks specifically. Like I said, between casted matches, the comp queue, and quick play, teams that go low ground chicken's foot struggle the fight against teams that take all this high ground here, and then extend their firing line across the map.
I mean, yeah, you forgo a lot of like map control if you give up the center ramps. If you just go for putting mechs up here, like just people peeking over here, peeking here, they can control basically like half of your home base. And now you're just stuck on Gamma. You maybe have Theta, but you're getting 3-capped. So that is like the inherent issue with giving up the ramps control completely. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And not applying enough pressure on the ramps can make it a lot harder for your lights trying to flip theta as well, which can be very important depending on the drop deck matchup here. If both teams are kind of playing mid range and trying to play around the center, then you really have to push and take control of that center area. You can't allow the other team to gain priority first, in my opinion. It can be very difficult to recapture theta once the enemy sets up.
Okay. Therax, what's Team 1 log? Let me know so I can get the
Yeah,
make sure.
Team 1 is just locked up. Team 1 locked.
Alright, who's not up? The weapon master. Mute.
They're at 480 tons as expected. I guess we haven't talked about the format in a while, but it's 8v8, 5-cap conquest. There's a 5-map pool. 480 tons the limit on the upper side for teams, and they also cannot exceed 3 of a weight class, so no more than 3 lights or 3 assaults. And there's also a chassis restriction where they're limited to 1 mech per chassis. Legendary mechs are banned. Mechs that aren't available for in-game for MC or C-bills are also banned. Just a little bit of technical details there, but for the most part, just trying to force a little bit of variety. This is like the 17th weekend of this comp or something. I don't know. I haven't kept track. Kind of lost track a while back, but I think everyone's kind of seen a game already. But just in case you haven't, that's the TLDR.
It sums up basically to Stone Rhino is banned, the new annual rewards mechs will be banned, and legends are banned.
And the newest comp rewards mech with that tournament supporter pack, there was that Executioner, which comes with some Omnipods with extra energy hardpoints in the side torso. It'll be available for C-bills later in the year, but currently that mech is banned for competitive play. And I think that's it. I don't know.
Yeah. Unless I'm forgetting something.
Yeah. I gotta plug that tournament supporter pack some more though, just for anyone who hasn't grabbed it yet. There's probably 2 days left to get it or something.
Maybe even talk about patch notes.
Patch notes. Well, yeah, there's a patch coming up on Tuesday.
Yeah.
I skimmed it real quick. There's basically Orions are getting a massive armor buff, and they're doing a little bit of stuff around trying to balance the Hyper Assault Gauss rifles, which are currently very powerful. We'll see plenty of those today. But at the moment, Hyper Assault Gauss is very powerful, but it's going to be adjusted a little bit, weakened on the patch on Tuesday. So
it's getting the Nerf hammer.
I don't know if I'd call it the Nerf hammer. It's a pretty. I think it's going to play out to be a relatively small adjustment, but
are going to lose all the spread as well.
Yeah. We'll see how it plays out in the real world. There's a little bit of.
We have not told the viewers the new thing we're doing for this drop.
Well, yeah. Why don't you go ahead and discuss it here?
So, a new format for this World's Finals is we occasionally are going to get to slip in and listen to the team's comms, see how they handle situations. Think of it a lot like in other leagues, especially like professional sports, where they'll listen to the team on the sideline, what's going on. It's kind of what we're going for. It should help give an insight into just what it takes, the kind of communication it takes for these teams to do what they do, right? Both teams have agreed to it, and we're going to be liberal. We've all said some words in anger. We're trying not to hold it against these teams. Now,
right,
Team 1 is done. Team 2 is almost down to a 2-minute warning.
Yeah. They're sitting at that 480 tons. They have green boarded up now.
Something noteworthy, Chimera doesn't appear to be in the lineup for Abins in this drop.
They did do a little player swapping in the lobby a little bit earlier. I don't recall specifically which players are being moved around, but that is a potential notable absence.
Both teams are locked. Give me one moment.
Okay.
Need a heck of a job in that Gaussier our large Mad Cat against us on this map.
All right, I'm going to
Mad Cat,
prepare to launch here, and
Well,
Here-
I got. They didn't all name themselves like to what they are in game, so I got to figure out who's who. So I can.
okay, so you're sorting that out.
Yeah, give
Okay,
me just
all
one
right.
moment. Yeah.
5J appears to be playing with their what I would consider to be their strongest roster, unless I'm missing something, Ghost.
Lizzie.
Let me double check real quick.
Who's
Yeah, roughly. I
who's Exo?
personally
Exo?
would make one or two smart
Not on the
swaps.
field. So Texan, Scout Derek, Tia, Auguring Rake, mute. All right, I think we're good.
Yeah, we're good.
We are good.
All right. Kicking it off, the first drop of the second last match of Championship Series 2023. Vitrix Station. And yeah, looking forward to this. See what happens.
Just wait for both teams to fly in. Zooming around the map.
All right, I'm going to stick with the team here coming in the spawn, which would be Obbins
What's
in
that
the
ringing
red.
noise?
I'm going to quickly pull up builds here. Got a Viper with red laser, Battlemaster with a mid-range binary vomit build. Started seeing that last week. Crusader mid-range with LPL ER Mead. Packet is ERPPC and Streaks. I'm expecting that to go to top of the Citadel. We have a Warhammer 2C with quad ERPPC, so no hag there. Stalker, quad binary. So this is very mid-range push in my estimation here.
Yeah,
And
I'm
level
looking here. We got Crusader, Viper, Phoenix Hawk, HCT. I can't. Oh, Hatchet Man. God, that's a mech that been a surprise this season. We got
Yeah.
Grolshin, a Mad Cat 2-1, dual hack 20s, ER larges, very similar to the classic Goss build. We got Jiffy here and the Jade Kite. Double checking what he's got. He's got ER Pizza and AC5. That's been a build he's been running pretty heavily this season. Bacon Lord already doing some trading with his Hatchet Man.
We have possession of Kappa.
So that Huntsman's getting some early damage in here as it's coming down. The team's kind of moving up to the ramps. Also, good scouting intel coming out of that Huntsman up in the Citadel high point. Putting a fair bit of damage onto Jiffy, it looks like, here in the night gear.
Yep. Bacon, Monk, Cougar, and Django. They got 4-man trading here at the top center. They just ate a strike. Bacon down to 88%, still quite fresh, but he's taking some grazing damage. Zeus up here in the Huntsman, though, he's starting to look kind of. Either he ate a strike or he's cooked himself a little bit. He's got a little bit of damage everywhere.
As Zeus has been eating strikes, obviously they have very little cover from strikes, 72% there. And looks like Lizzie at 83% might have head is open on Lizzie. Somebody hit that with a shot. So that is something to watch for going forward here.
Zeus and Lizzie both they're the only ones really injured on Evan's side. CS or 5JDX, they're kind of average. The damage is kind of spread equally amongst them all except Bacon. Bacon's taking some hits here. He's down to 64%.
Neither
That
team's made
side
a play
torso
for
is getting
Theta
real
yet.
weak, but man, if you look at his mech, he has damage spread all over it. That's a good potato. Texan down
Yeah.
here just doing some light skirmishing in that Viper.
Looks like percentages are favoring Aubins right now. Bacon Lord goes
Ooh,
down. Side
Bacon!
torso, rear registered hit. I didn't see the shot itself, but that is a
Oh
rear
no!
side
I
torso,
looked
extra light
away
engine.
just.
I thought that would be a
Also
light engine in
swinging
that
out on
mech,
the
but
north
a
side.
little bit of a
Kind of
surprise there to
illegal
me.
movement for an assault on this map. Would be interested to see what he does with it.
So the only healthy member here for 5th Jaguar Dragoons right now would be Grolsch, 90% the Mad Cat, out of the trade mechs at least. I mean, Crusader 55% from Django, side torsos open. I would guess that is absolutely a light engine, not an extra light engine.
Now,
There,
I'm going to point out that Evans could make me eat my words about this whole playing the chicken foot side for T2. They're doing a pretty good job. They're holding a lot of angles. My worry is 5JDX, especially if you look at the mini map, is most of their teams pretty balled up. They're struggling to get angles, and because of that, it looks like they're easier to get shot at by multiple
Theta
mechs
is
right now.
controlled by the
Because
enemy.
Django looks like he's going to be the next to pop. I thought that Huntsman would have been out by now. Yeah, Django's side torso is almost one touch. It's very, very messed up.
yeah, a lot of mechs
Abin's
getting
got
very
somebody
wounded here.
Slipping around for the back cap here on Kappa.
So the caps
yeah.
are
5J is gonna be under
currently
pressure.
Boy.
3 caps
Yeah,
going to
he
4
is.
caps. It's still 300 to 250, but the percentages, the way they are, I mean, 5th Jaguar Dragoons, they're making a push here. They are making that push. They're making a move here. They know they have equal numbers. They're down a mech, but one mech
Let's go
for
hop in their
Aubins is
comms and see
capping.
how they're handling this.
Gonna die pushing over, boys. I'm
Yeah,
stripped.
4
The
caps now
Huntsman's
too.
gonna have streaks. Keep that in
I'm
mind.
stripped. I'm gonna go for caps. You guys keep killing stuff, okay?
I'm
Focus
pushing
the
this Huntsman
targets,
here.
Get rid of their top.
Yeah, I'm with
Get
you
rid
on
of
this
their
one.
top.
We're wrapping around.
Huntsman.
They're wrapping
I'm
around.
half.
Make sure.
Coming over the top.
Charlie 3
I
is
dropped
also
middle.
Charlie 3. Did you
Huntsman
drop on
down?
purpose or what?
Girls
Crusader.
drop,
Yes,
stick
yes.
together.
They're coming in behind with the Viper. Yeah, yeah.
Turn around and look behind. Look behind.
I need help. They're on
Where?
me now.
Oh, okay.
They're on Grosh.
On top.
Battlemaster's peeking the left ramp.
I'm alive.
We have gained Epsilon.
Darker CT's open.
You guys need to focus
One
up on
light
targets
behind.
here. Come on.
Yeah, get
Look
the
towards
spider
Delta
down.
5 and kill these mechs in
I'm
Delta
almost
4 low.
lagged. Yeah, yeah.
Delta 5, Delta 4
Multiple
low.
engaging Delta 5. Viper,
Yeah.
Viper.
Phoenix Hawk is fresh.
I'm on Phoenix Hawk.
There's a
Left
bunch,
side
like, right
next to
torso
me.
on the Phoenix Hawk. Left side torso on Phoenix Hawk.
Okay.
Left
Whoever
torso on
needs
the
help.
spiders open.
Okay.
It's over. Focus the next match.
Fuck.
This is
Yeah,
why we
it's
need
fine.
to spread out at the beginning, boys.
We're balled up.
The enemy has capped enough.
And there it is. So we got into
Yeah.
comms there briefly with the push from the 5th Jaguar Dragoons, as they made a desperation push there, trying to grab caps and also pick up the kills, but in the end, did not go their way.
Yeah, I hopped over to Abin's comms for a second too.
Right.
They were very calm and collective. They're compared to what we heard on 5JDX there. But 5JDX kind of made a desperate move. I'm not sure they had any other moves to make at that point. They were down a mech, and they were desperately behind in caps. I think that was the only
Yeah.
move they had.
5J losing the hatchet man, I couldn't quite tell if that was a back ridge or exactly what happened there, but 5J losing that mech and then also Django's Crusader getting ripped up really puts them on the back foot, and kind of the moment that that Abin sent that mech around for the back cap, they were confident that they could receive any push that 5J was going to do. 5J made the right move by acting aggressively, but because they had lost their hatchetman and because the Crusader was ripped up, I don't feel like they had a lot of hope of winning that fight, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, they lost a lot due to the Hatcherman getting essentially killed for free. And then you're playing a 7v8, and at this level, that's that. All the other mechs were
difficult.
decently fresh, and you can play a 7v7, and Abins has one mech capping and constantly putting you under time pressure, and it's enough to lose a match. However, I think even if that backshot didn't happen, the Huntsman up top is just
I'll be
laughing at
interested
them
to see
with
I'll be
all the
interested to see
PPCs.
Zeos' stats. Yeah, definitely.
That Huntsman is really hard to deal with PPCs, because it's so hard to time and like shoot it, whereas you're out in the open and it can basically just pop tart you and free farm.
I've got the damage here for
Yeah.
the Huntsman. It was only 364 for Zeos before they went down. They were getting focused pretty
that
hard
all?
with strikes. I don't know how
Yeah.
much other damage was actually landing on them.
I expected a bit more, but he did absorb quite a lot of pressure, and
Yeah.
I mean almost all of the strikes that I saw 5J put out. So he absorbed a lot of resources from them.
Okay, so this is one of those moments where, like, if before airstrikes and artillery got nerfed, he would have just died from just the amount of strikes he ate up there. I guess
Yeah.
them only doing like 5 damage now or whatever it is, he could just be like, just shrug it off and just keep firing without a worry. in the
Yeah,
world.
there's probably ways to make that spot up there like worse but strike safe. But before the strike nerf, you were definitely looking for like strike safe spots where you had a roof over your head so you couldn't get struck. Nowadays you can, like, especially arties, you just, as long as you have the gyro nodes, you can just sit in it and tank it. And as long as you get like one free trade for it, one free laser burn, because they don't expect you to do it, you're trading up, even though you take more percentage damage.
All right, we got a lock from Team 1, 5th Jaguar Dragoons. Do you want to talk about Mining Collective quickly here before we get into that drop?
Yeah,
Let's go ahead and change the map strat here.
yeah.
It'll be interesting considering that 5J decided to just forfeit their side picks and must have a
Yeah.
good Team 1 strat, because I think it was to be predicted that Abins would choose Team 2.
5J locking 5 tons under doesn't really tell us much. Their light pilots appear to be pretty evenly distributed across the lances, so it doesn't tell us too much about what they're going to be doing from the lobby
5
here.
tons under, from what I recall, that is the tonnage of the meta push deck. Just a fully wild guess, but if I remember correctly, that is what it ends up being with like Catapult, Marauder 2C, XC. And all of those mechs are still totally viable. So I could see it being brought.
Alright. I got Team 1 guys muted. Abins is on the timer. Alright, I think I got everything good on my end on the cast. Sorry about the...
Yeah, just some
Quiet.
technical things that we're dealing with.
Yeah,
And
we're adding new things to juggle. It's fun.
Yeah, just to clarify here, we've got 2 streams running right now. The MW Leagues 1, the main channel, no number at the end, and then MW Leagues 2, which is levels perspective. So if anyone wants to get a second perspective on these matches, on these drops, you can go check out the second MW Leagues channel. And also, just as a backup in case something happens with the main, you can pop open the second channel real quick there.
Yeah, relying on level and its potato cast is real smart, everybody. Good job. Thank you, though. I appreciate it.
Well,
The base is not well placed.
Either of us could go down. There's some technical issues that may or may not occur. We have no idea what's going to happen with the day. Yeah, so we've got a 1-0 lead here right now for Aubins, which is not insurmountable, but it is something. It is something that they've managed to achieve here.
Team 2 is getting close to their 2-minute warning.
Yeah, just taking a little bit of time. Again, we're not
I don't
seeing...
blame them at this high level, right? Like,
Yeah.
everything has to be perfect. Like we just saw in the last one, just that Hatchet Man. Well, as pointed out, probably didn't make all the difference in the world, but that's kind of it's kind of difference that can really cause a snowball effect.
I was a little bit surprised to find out that it was an extra light engine there. I would have assumed it would have been a light.
What, in the Hatchet Man? Or the Crusader?
The Hatchet Man, finding out it was an extra light engine. I know it's only
Oh.
45 tons. They're trying to put some big boy guns on it, but it's still. I don't know. Can you just sacrifice all of the speed? Teams are locked, so we are ready to get into the match.
I need
Once-
one moment.
Yeah, once you're ready.
I think these are the ones. Yep. Yep. And yeah, we're good to go.
Okay. There we have it. So we're getting to
that-
job 2 here,
Is
Mining
that your
Collective.
alarm?
I don't know what you're hearing, man. I don't hear anything.
What the? Oh, it's that stopwatch I was using. That's for the timers. I didn't know I had a sound effect when it got down to like 30 seconds. I just looked over and it was blinking red at me. Oh, dude, for a moment there, I was starting to. Either you guys were messing with me or I had a brain tumor. This is one of those spots.
All right. Well, here we go, Mining Collective. So we're going to see what we can do here with the, two teams coming in.
This should be exciting. Mining, one of the most, other than Canyon Network. Well, we got Hibernal, which is close enough to Canyon, but those two maps are the most popular maps by a wide margin.
Historically in MW Comp, Mining Collective has been played for a long time. Map hasn't seen very many changes over the years. I'm looking at Auburn's drop deck here, and we've got a Charger, quad binary laser Charger, not something I was expected. Timberwolf with dual Hag 20 heavy large, so that is going to be a very hot, high burst mech. Viper's red lasers, grabbing the build off of the Marauder 2C. Hag 40 ear large, definitely going to be sitting back a ways with that.
Bacon and Cougar on 5JDX side, just taking pot shots at Zeos. They both whiffed, but they let them know that they got two mechs that can see him and shoot him.
Theta is controlled by the
So
enemy.
Theta's being grabbed here. Salith and the Spider going for that early Theta cap, which will give a 3 cap advantage once Sigma cap has been grabbed. What are we looking at for 5th Jaguar Dragoons? I'm seeing a Mad Cat Mark II-1 from Grolsch setting up in Cupcakes.
Yeah. We got him in Cupcakes. They got an Arctic Cheetah over there doing caps. Viper Crusader holding center. They got a Firestarter. The Firestarter, the Hatchet Man, and the Executioner are taking paps right now. And they're going to dare Abbots to push them off of it. Jiffy is now holding the rear with trades, working on taking out some UAVs right now.
Cougar
Seeing
did
a
a
lot of
cross
positioning.
and took a fair bit of damage to their leg in the Firestarter, so something to keep an eye on there.
Now it
Both
is
teams
2
just
caps
kind of-
each, with Abbott's holding Theta, but they did take their back cap at Sigma, which is interesting. Oh, I spoke too soon. That is exactly what Cell is currently doing.
Currently 2 caps to 2. Sigma is finally being flipped, which will give that cap lead advantage. Theta's been secured. It's well covered from range mechs. The sides are open on that for looking at it. But the Marauder 2 has moved up, so Mech Warrior numbers here with the Marauder 2C variant, electing to bring more of a mid-range.
Derek get hit
positioning.
from 3 angles. He's getting off now, but his side torso is pretty red.
Yeah, 85%. It is concerning. That's going to be a light engine, though. There's no way they're going to bring an extra light Crusader.
Didn't they do it last time? No, that was 5JDX did it last time. They might do it too. I've seen a lot of the high-end teams do it. Oh no, Buck just got hit by Texan pretty hard. Monk's side torso rear is almost popped.
Texan Scrublord sitting at 69% Shadow Cat.
Let's hop
looks
into
like arm
Abbott's
damage.
comms for this for a few seconds and switch over to 5JDX just to see what they're saying in their comms.
XC's getting
Execution's
burned
dropped.
heavily.
Execution.
XCCT.
Hit the cheetah and
Grab
CT.
Gamma. Someone grab Gamma now.
I'm going Gamma right now.
Yep,
It's after
good.
I.
Do it.
Execution just
Crusader right
chilling.
torso. Crusader right torso. Mimi, be careful. Mimi, be careful. You have a lot looking at you.
I'm backing off. I'm open. I'm backing off. I'm open. Yep.
Magcat just looking down here right now, so.
Yes, he is.
If someone has UAV, use it over here.
I'll pester.
Hatchaman way down there.
I can't really.
Crusader right torso open. 1. Right torso open. Crusader 1.
Alright, I'm gonna rotate down with you, Bowser.
It's almost halved. Crusader. Nearly halved right torso. Nearly halved right
Push
torso.
back off.
Run.
Yeah. I'm running.
Shit.
I need help. I'm open.
I'll try to help it.
Brawl Crusader.
Right torso.
Couple seconds there from Ivan's comms as there were kind of starting a bit of a push or maneuver, not a dedicated push, and they've now secured a 3-cap position off of that.
Yeah.
Losing Theta, but gaining
I
Gamma.
hopped over to 5JDX's comms, right? They saw Tios when he did that alpha into them there in the Echo 4 ramp, and they went for the pick. They got super excited, but Tios got away.
Yeah, Tios has no armor remaining on their center torso. They are the absolute definition of one-touch center torso. 45% in their Hellfire.
Both these teams are beaten up.
Has a
Go
3
ahead,
cap
Shark.
for now, but this is a very unstable position here for Abins, and they're kind of corralled at the moment into one quadrant.
They've lost map position. Anytime I've seen a team get kind of stuck behind smokestacks here or whatever the position is.
We've seen it in
formerly referred to.
almost every mining game. This competition ended with one team cornered in one quadrant. Tios does get finally picked.
Versus Bacon Lord. Zelith is looking relatively healthy, actually. Low percentage, but nothing's open. Zeos is getting out as well. But that Sigma cap is being flipped now. Viper's side torso is open for Zeos.
Django's XL Crusader's one touch in that side torso. He is playing it very cagey, as he should, because he's one touch from actual death. Still curious if the Lizzie goes down.
Lizzie's down.
Right beside me. I missed it. She is falling on her head, though.
So there is a bit of a maneuver here. Aubin's trying to get out of the position that they backed into, try to secure a Sigma cap, as they know that caps are a realistic threat right now at 390 to 460. Monkats is kind of working the corner here as well to try and put a little bit of pressure on the two Abin's caps.
Django's getting out in the open. I'm scared for him.
Abin still needs to secure a 3 cap in order to have any chance of winning this game at this point.
I agree. They
They're
need
on the
3
back
craps
foot
too.
right now.
Yeah, caps are almost to 500, but they're facing 450 in a couple seconds here.
Texan just got
Texan
halved.
Scrublord's been halved.
He still has his large lasers, but
Monk's taking
no heat
punishment though.
management
Lost
for
a
him.
side torso on that Executioner.
All right, you were right. Crusader is light engine. He has lost half his side torso.
Jeffy's open side torso. Django's open side torso. Everyone is very low percentage on 5th Jaguar Dragoons, but
That's the difference
they do have a
between
kill
the top
lead,
of Dive.
and they
for
had
real.
a cap lead. Cap lead is flipping right now, though. It is
Interesting. It'll be
3rd
interesting
cap's
to
being
see
taken.
If Abin's north side capper goes for Kappa here.
We have a bit of a fight in the background. Potential fight. I'm going to take a look at this.
Oh, we go to Texan. No,
they're
Texan.
aggressing on the south
Texan,
side
you're
now,
gonna die. He runs. He gets out of there alive. I don't know how. Scout. Wow, the low percentage numbers. Scout still has one heavy peep, but everyone's in his mid range, and they just dove him. They killed Texan. They dove Derek. Derek's down.
All right.
And now they're sweeping.
There's only 4 remaining for Aubins, and very low percentages, but it's
Aubin's
it's
going
about
for the
bodies on
caps.
cap points right now, and one team's got way more bodies. Bacon Lord's going to flip a cap. Gamma's
Kong
being
is still up
flipped as
here
well.
high.
Yeah,
see, he just got
they've been
killed.
halved. They're down to 3 ER mead though. Mech Warrior
is that all
numbers
they
and
are?
Marauder 2C. So
Oh, I thought they had more weapons than that. Yeah, just
Grolsch has gone down in the back, so there are going to be Gamma and Epsilon in the favor of the 5th Jaguar Dragoons right now. And with Theta as well, I'm not feeling very good here for Aubin's chances.
I don't
Caps
know.
are at
Even if
560 to
Abbott holds a
620.
2 cap, I think they needed more than that. I think they have to. I think with a 3 cap, 5 JDX kit will overcome.
Luger, both legs are open but still attached. The Viper from Brower, very slow, has been legged. And the Hatchaman is open side torso, and that wasn't extra light earlier, so
Kind of all up
concerned
to
about that.
Bowser from Evans at this point. He's the only one with the amount of burst damage to clutch
Yeah.
anything, and I don't
Bowser
know. I think he's gonna get
50%
tickled to
open
death
side
here.
torso.
Yeah, what's he at? Oh, he's C2.
Bailiff is still moving
4
around.
binaries. That's...
Everything's open. They're making a play for Theta. 620, no, does not get an opportunity.
This game is gonna go 5J's way.
1-1. I like to see it.
See if anyone, Bowser gets picked off. Maybe Zeos can pick up a kill here on Dario. Dario just been legged in that Arctic Cheetah, but does pick up the kill. If Jaguar Dragoons takes a drop, ties things up at 1-1.
1-1. 3 more drops to go. I better go and mute everyone in the
That
channels.
is really unfortunate for Abens because I think it was Zeos on Kappa decided to just decap Kappa and go and help the fight, and then at the end had to go back to cap it, and that easily cost them like 10-20 points, which might have been enough to end the game for them.
Take a look at the team stats. Jiffy, 750 damage. Farm harder scrub. just looking here, Bowser 569, Jiffy 750. I think that makes Jiffy MVP of this round. Got a lot of shots off. Any double Ds? No double Ds. I was surprised. Well, I guess I shouldn't be so surprised at this point in the competition, but just how low of like total HP pool percentages these mechs are getting before they were finally getting picked, like sub 30s in almost every case. That's crazy. It's also kind of badass. All right. Do you guys want to swap it over to? We'll swap it over to the map strat and we'll talk. Did I get disconnected? Mic test. Mic test.
I can still hear you.
Okay.
All right, we're going to Polar Highlands. Team 1's currently on the clock. 5 minutes there for them to ready up.
Polar's going to be interesting. Shine, Ghost, do you want to take it away?
I mean...
Well, actually, for a second, you would have talked about...
What just happened on mining?
Yeah.
Because we were talking about how Team 2 gets Theta control, but... with the decks the teams ended up running, Abens kind of foregoing that long-range control. Theta ended up being Team 1's for basically the entire match.
Yeah, Grols's pressure from the north side up here on Cupcakes was really crucial in keeping control of Theta for 5J, or at least bleeding Abens for contesting it, as you saw with Derek just taking heavy hits to his side torso in the mid-game.
Yeah, and we can also see later on in the game, like 5J taking control of this area, which basically guarantees that you hold Theta and you hold Gamma, and you can like contest FC.
Exactly.
And
that's what
still having a trader up here was just almost game over at that point. Like getting the pick on, I think it was Tia's. Yeah. At that point, it's pretty much over. You need to make some major mistakes in order to throw that.
Yeah, when I hopped in their comms, they went full mine after Tios when he got caught out, right? Whoops.
Oh yeah. And that is something that makes that Hellfire pick, in my mind, a little bit questionable, because it's no JJs and it has really low kind of knuckle dragging mounts, and so you wind up having to expose in really awkward spots, and it creates opportunities for the enemies to take advantage of when most decks on Mining Collective tend to be chock full of jump jets and or laser bomb, PPC pop tarts, what have you. And so it's really hard for a mech like Hellfire to deal with, so I kind of feel bad for Tios in that situation.
having no JJs on mining is
It's
rough.
painful. It
It's
is
very
painful.
rough. But
Oh,
also, I want to highlight this, like 5J comms during that pick. It can really help get you out, like out of the mindset of, oh, we lost the first drop, and like shake off some amount of tilt when you can like joke with your teammates, and you can fight, oh, who gets this kill, and it's no longer really about, oh, we need to win this match, because that's almost a given.
yeah. To,
The odds
to
of this series
extrap-
going to 5 games just shot up drastically.
Oh yeah, but to
I'd
add what you just said, Ghosty, like yeah, team morale, the psychological game is just as important as the physical one. I've seen top end teams. You just go through a funk because they got like steamrolled in the first drop, and then they just get shooken up, and they don't play nearly as good as people like they have played in the past for that entire series. You know what I mean? So as you
Something I
said,
would-
it is important that everyone keeps stays, like you said, the joking around, good moods and stuff make better pilots than people who are just angry and just want to go home for the day. You know?
Yeah, but it's also if you're too serious and people are just like getting demotivated and like going through the routines of things, it's also like detrimental. So you do want like, I'd say you want to like 10% meme, 90% play serious.
That's a good.
But,
That's
yeah.
a good level. All right, Team One's almost ready, so let's start talking about Polar now.
I did want to go over one more crucial moment on mining.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
There was a moment in the game where I mentioned that Abins was in a, we were talking about how Abins had the 3 cap, but they're in a very precarious position with 2 caps on the south side and Sigma cap northeast side.
Yeah.
Basically, in my mind, Abin's last chance to win that game was for them to take the 2v2 on Sigma, and they declined to do so, probably because Kelith was in, a DPS mech, but not one that's made to dogfight, which can really put you at a disadvantage in that situation. And that's, it would have still been really close, but if they had done that and were able to take the caps north side, it would have either given them a bigger cap lead, which they already had, I think 80 points at the time, or it would have forced 5J to relieve some of the pressure on Abin's folks that were pinned down on the south side, and maybe they could have rotated and gotten something out of it.
I mean, even just getting like 40 cap points.
They were either unwilling or unable to take that 2v2 on Sigma. But basically, after that happened, that was the last opportunity, and basically the game was over.
I mean, they did get to like 680. If Zeus doesn't hesitate on grabbing Kappa and slivers it immediately, you get to like 700 and then 50 cap points over the course of the game, wins you the match.
I mean, maybe. It's hard to say. I think 5J still would have won if Zeus had taken that point earlier, to be honest.
It would have
their
been
fight was
close,
just
and
so
that
much easier on the south side without him like applying any pressure. So I don't know.
And that together with like grabbing a cap earlier in the game for like 20 seconds, it might have gotten you to like 750, 745, something like that. It still would have been close as hell. And I get why you don't want to rely on getting that close on caps on something that you can't control, and you'd rather try to fight and get the advantage there.
Yeah.
It's a really tough call to make.
100%. Now, Team 2's almost... Never mind. I was about to say Team 2's almost locked, but it looks like they just hard lock. Give me one moment to make sure the everything's set up in the channels. And
yeah, so we switched team sides here. So Team 2 this time around will be 5th Jaguar Dragoons. Team 1 will be Avins. Anyone who's watching along and looking at the map room here.
Teams are ready.
Okay.
I gotta say, Ghost, as a light pilot situation, is the kind of thing that gives me night sweats, Because it is a very tough call.
And you're always gonna be wrong. No matter which side you go for, you're gonna be wrong.
Yeah,
trust me.
Well, if you lose, you're wrong. That's what it comes down to, right?
All right, we're launching into the match here. We've got the third one.
So far.
Yeah, so far it's tied up 1-1. 5th Jaguar Dragoons and Avins are tied. See how they play out on Polar Islands.
Loser's third place, right?
Yes.
Now, let's
Winner
see,
gets to play for first.
traditionally, you know, people think about Polar. They don't really consider it to be a map that has a favored side, but in my opinion, Team 2 is favored on this map because they just have easier access to high ground to deny Theta, is what it comes down to.
All right, teams are coming in. I'm looking
one
at
you
the 5th
taking,
Jaguar Dragoons in the red.
All right. I'll waddle my way over to the other team.
Capture and hold the resource point. Stop any hostiles that get in your way.
Summoner is ERPPCs with backups. Grab Shadowcat. Shadowcat's Laser Vomit. Viper, small lasers. Crusader, triple ER large. I've seen that played a couple times. I haven't been impressed. Stalker, 6 ER large. Rancor, the Blood Asp hero, has 6 ER large and no backup weapons. Usually you see backups on this type of a map. Rivals, dual EOPPC. Rivals a little bit of an interesting pick, kind of fell out of the meta. And then an Incubus with a mid-range poke as well.
So over on Avid's side, we got Zeos running the Void, ER larges, ER means Hag 20. I think that's one of the more standard builds nowadays. Snub Heavy Machine Gun Vulcan, that's a classic from earlier this year. Before the weapon changes. ERP Goss, Orion 2C Skull. A lot of firepower on that bad boy. That Spider's 1 XPL. The Mad Cat, just dual Goss, ER larges.
They have resource point Gamma.
TS is running ER large and ER mead Hunchback. Very standard build. The Shadowcat is what we've been seeing a lot. This one's ER large instead of heavy larges, but machine guns.
So it looks like they're playing, both teams are playing kind of like a standard standoff range. They're not extreme range builds, but they are, some of them are, but a lot of it, the Hags are maybe a little bit more of a closer range than the extreme ranges you might see with like the Goss ER large type builds. We'll see how they set up, how they play this.
Yeah, it looks like it's everything is mid to long range maps.
Yeah, definitely not going to see a brawl push anytime soon. Teams are going to be playing toward cap points very much in this. Pride Rock has gone the way of Team 2, the 5th Jaguar Dragoons. That's the what was being hinted at there with the high ground covering Theta.
They took Pride Rock and they're not going to use it?
Yeah, they're abandoning it. They might rotate a heavier mech there.
Oh, okay. There's a Blood Ass, I think, going there. Okay.
They've scouted with their Inviter elements.
My brain was like, it does not compute.
Yeah. Well, it's not where you really want to be using mechs that have speed. Mechs with speed can work the flanks a little bit more. But yes, you definitely want to be putting something up there, either the Stalker or that Blood Asp.
Brower just took a pretty big hit for that Shadowcat. I mean, he's 82%. Still fine.
It was strike damage or weapons. Looks like
he
internal damage.
Losing 18% in one shot is
there's a little bit of overheat there as well.
Dario's over here on the flank, getting some angles, but there's actually a couple mechs by Epsies that if they notice him there, they could.
Yeah, they're definitely positioning to counter. I don't know if there's going to be an overextension from either of these teams that would allow for their opponents to jump on them. They're looking for it, but they're not finding it, not yet at least.
Now, what I think it's Abbins is doing, with a couple mechs holding Epsies, that's something I don't think we've really seen. Because they kind of have this firing line that's behind Theta.
There was a back cap. Salith and the Spider went and grabbed or decapped Sigma, which means it's now 3 caps to 1. Cougar's going to drive them off. Needs to retake the cap as well, though. That Spider is sticking around.
Can we get the build on that Viper, please?
The Viper was red lasers. I'll pull it up again. Spider's large X-Pulse and
go ahead.
Pulse ear micro.
Kayla flipping this cap with his build with the LXPL, like he has supreme range and cooldown on that thing. It's gonna be really difficult for Cougar to do anything about that. And Evans is holding a 3-1 in the meantime. This could be huge.
Yeah, Theta there's a play on Theta right now occurring as well. 5th Jaguar Dragoons pushing the Stalker onto there. The Blood Asp is sitting back. Pride Rock has not moved up, but this is a play for the cap with a Stalker on there. Stalker's very easy to stop a cap when it's standing on it. All you got to do is shoot the mech every couple of seconds. Tex and Scrubler are taking some damage while doing that, though.
Getting hammered.
A Sigma is being taken by that Spider. They need to push here. 5th Jaguar Dragoons needs to push or it's over.
I'm going to hop into their comps for a few seconds and swap to the other team just to see what's
Alright.
going through their heads during this moment.
So for anyone who wants to listen to comms, MechWarrior Online, the MWO Leagues 2 channel will have it. Teos is being focused here, has lost a side torso, and open everywhere else. That Hunchback is, having to stick in cover now. This push needs to go fast, though. It's currently, Theta's being flipped, but it's still 3 caps to 1, 3 caps to 2, even after Theta gets flipped. Texan Scrublord open center torso in the Shadowcat. Lizzie's been driven off as well. Open side torso on that Mad Cat. Bowser's backing up, taking significant damage.
We might see a Gamma back cap. Might see a Gamma back cap in a second.
Yeah,
I think
Gamma's got
Selith is going
one
for
mech
it.
going for it. The Blood Asp is nearby. Could turn around to stop it. Looks like the Blood Asp is turning.
Yeah, I don't think the 5J trader on the north side of the map has anything better to do, so I think he's just
Rolsh
going to turn around and deny
lost a
this.
side torso.
If Kellis
Let's take a quick
steps
look
on
at
it.
this cap play here. Yeah, Rancor's turned around. Does not have backup weaponry, though. That mech could be underrun. It is open center torso. The Spider could probably win that fight if
Oh, man, and
Salith
the
were
cap
to dive
spider
them.
almost flips it anyway.
Monk
he's going to.
Gats has got to be close. They don't want to close range on the Spider. That Blood Asp with the high mounts, it turns to a punishment when you're facing a short mech that can hug you.
Kellis could potentially win this 1v1.
Absolutely. Very much winnable.
And all
Hopefully
he really
Level's
needs to do
covering
is
the
deny this
fight
cap
at
for a
Theta.
while.
It's
Alright,
3 caps to 1
we're done.
currently, Gamma being decapped. I'm on the Gamma fight.
I will say the comms of both these teams is beautiful in this match.
Side torso is open on
Communication
Salith.
is excellent.
Bring around the Rosie, man.
Now, Zeo's here. He's 2v1ing. I don't know how much of his weapons does he have left. If he has all his weapons, he could potentially pull this off. Because Bacon Lord is he can be killed in one shot CT, and then Cougar, if I can click on that Viper, see how injured he is. But
Caps are
Zeo's, he
600.
can finish Bacon right now if he just shot.
6 to 300. This is going to be about the Spider versus the Blood Asp.
Eric yeets Bacon out of the sky. Now Zeus is going to go try to deal with Cougar here. Cougar's almost leg. Cougar is almost leg. Zeus could easily leg him. He's
Yeah, Cougar's
They get the
pinned,
leg
3
off this
coming on them.
Viper. It could be over for 5J.
I think it already
Might
is.
already be over.
That Blood Asp and Spider fight is still going on at Gamma. Neither mech is able to get the cap, but that doesn't matter for Aubins. As long as they deny, they will end up winning here. Cougar's taken a while to go down, does in the end. That leaves the Blood Asp, the
Yeah, this
Stalker,
game's
the
over.
Summoner. None of those mechs have any speed. Caps are at 700 in a couple of seconds here.
FC alone is enough. They can't get there fast enough.
The Spider didn't even have to win the fight. The Spider just needed to not die.
Well, what's over here in the last fight? Salith versus Monk.
Yeah, the fight's still going on. Has been for a while.
All that Selith
And
is
it's ring
doing.
around the Rosie. Oh, I feel bad.
All
You
Selith
have
is
a
doing-
big old blood ass, but you can't put all your firepower on the mech because he's
Yep. No
just
backup
all Selith
weapons
is
in the
doing is
around
arms.
winning
you.
the game. That's all.
Selith-
he's
If there were
Yeah.
your micros or small pulse in the Blood Asp arm, that fight would probably have gone differently.
that blood ass one touch seek. Can Salith get it? No, he's just gonna
Selith-
keep. What a professional! This guy's like, nope. I'm just going to deny you the shot. There it
Selith
is.
deliberately just stood in the cap and didn't even try to fight, just so Monk couldn't cap it.
There was a little bit of damage going to Monk every so often. But yeah. It was a fight
Really
that didn't
nicely
need
done.
to be won, it just needed to not be lost.
Losing that Mad Cat 710 damage. With Kong right behind him at 612. Out there in that Vulcan, 4 kills. He killed half the enemy team. Very
Selith
proactive
actually
in that
out
match.
damaging the 5JDX Crusader. Brutal.
Yeah, that the Spider's quirks with that large X pulse is nothing to sneeze
Yeah.
about. You know what I mean?
That's a mech that definitely can be combat capable.
I'm gonna go out here and say that the Spider won that match.
I
Both
feel
getting Theta at the start, getting a full cap on Theta, getting the early 3 cap, and then constant pressure on the back caps.
it just became completely insurmountable.
It's what you have to do in control on Polar. Like, it's
Right.
almost impossible for this map, running control against control, to not go down to caps. I
We
do
got
want to talk
Avens on
about
the
the
clock
Hunchy
here.
though.
Yes. Let's go ahead.
As some people might know, I'm a bit of a hunchback enthusiast.
Yeah, you just showed me your Hunchback collection, and I made fun of you just the other day for it. You got so many.
So the 3-year large 5-year med build is, I'm not sure. I think it would be in my top 3 list for this map. It's really good because it still gets speed, and you get to be basically a laser vomit and an ER large mech. But I think for how Abens was playing that, I would have opted for either an XL275, so max engine quad ER large, or if you want to be safe from a brawl, something like 2 PPC 6-ER mediums. Simply because you can actually trade a lot better with double PPC, especially if you're using speed and going for caps.
Yeah, the Hunchy has this insane height mount. Insanely high mounts.
Has the best mounts in the game.
That might be true. Like, I don't think that's a hot take. I think he might be legit. That might be legit true.
I'm 100% honest about that. The Hunchy has the best mounts in the game for its 4 high mount energy.
I want one Atlas with shoulder weapons. Can I get an Atlas with shoulder weapons?
You already
Alright,
have one that has a weapon in the eye. What more do you want?
Going on to Crimson Strait as the next map.
Oh yeah,
Rolling here a little bit.
that's right. Crimson's 4, and then Hibernal's 5th.
Ooh, Abens is team 1 on Crimson?
Yeah, Avens is going to be team 1 here.
Yeah, Avens chose team 1 here.
It'll be interesting to see what the teams do on this map. I can see heavy Theta pressure from Abens. I can also see very much island pressure from them. I could see a full push from 5J. I'm gonna assume that we're now in the top 3. Teams aren't gonna fall into the trap of sending 2 mechs to Theta and then getting caught off guard by team 1 sending like 5.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen that for a couple of weeks now. What we've seen is maybe 3 or 4 skirmishing, but even that.
What game was that? Who got slaughtered there? They sent
it
like
was
KSG.
Yeah, because the enemy sent like they had a couple mechs out here, then they sent like 3 more, and then it became like a 3v5. And then when the rest of the light pack came, these guys just died trying to get away.
I think it was also Hunters of Fjordlands. They overstayed at a fight, and was it them or was it someone else? And another mech joined the fight, running over the saddle. That somehow it didn't get communicated, and they got sandwiched between. I think it was like a Hellfire coming over the saddle, and then the remainder of the team. It was a completely unfair fight. The thing about the saddle is that it's a position that's easily scoutable for either team, assuming that they have some mechs situated, around the water or on the island that are keeping their eyes on a swivel. You'll definitely see anyone going high ground, and also you got a pretty good view underneath the platform as well from either Sigma or Epsilon type positions. So nothing should be going over the saddle that is not scouted, and that gives Team 1 the advantage to Theta, I would opinion.
There are ways to sneak like 1, maybe 2 mechs through saddle, where if Team 1 doesn't pay perfect attention for 3 seconds, you get it across unscouted. But if you want to send more than 1 or 2,
yeah,
they're gonna know.
And that's kind of more in the early game, I would think. Like later on in the game,
Yes.
when the mechs are more moved up, like when you're right from spawn, you could run a mech past Kappa, do a jump up, run behind the crates. You'd be exposed for, I don't know, 3 to 5 seconds, be my guess. Or even underneath the platform, if you hug the pillars right, maybe you can make it through there outside of sensor range. Simply
below
visual
because-
contact, but small mech moving fast without a red box around it can be difficult to spot.
Because you really only need to cross here. This is where you can get seen. This ship blocks you from most of where you go underneath.
Yeah.
And then you hug the left side of this wall as you go up.
Yeah, and that would be a mech height thing. That ship, I don't think would block like an Atlas or
No.
Well,
sure, even if
I
it
don't think
blocked a
anyone's sitting
Hellfire,
in
but
Atlas with Theta.
An
my
Atlas
bud.
is not
a
crossing.
fleet.
That'd be the most Chad
yeah,
thing
a
ever.
flea would definitely be able to use that ship for cover while
I
making
think
that
the
move.
slowest mech that's making it across the saddle potentially for a Theta fight would be a Skull, basically.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
say
Maybe.
an XE could
Maybe.
make it. If you're
Maybe.
gonna
Okay.
go big, you might bring an
Maybe
XE.
That XE's getting scouted though, I can tell you that.
Yeah, Executioner would be scouted.
No, what do you mean? I take stealth armor on my XE.
Hey. I'll be very
Alright,
interested to
both
see, like I
teams are
say, we've
locked.
talked about both of these teams being pretty aggressive. I'll be interested to see how much emphasis they put in their drop decks into Wolfpack fighting and priority on Theta. I'll be very interested to see how much each team prioritizes that. That'll be the number one thing I'm looking for in this matchup.
All right, teams are ready. So we'll switch over and get that match launched. So this is a 2-1 lead right now for Aubens against 5th Jaguar Dragoons. If Aubens wins, they advance into the championship match against Equilibrium.
Now-
that will be taking place 2 weeks from now on December 2nd, I believe
Now,
it is.
if I understand right, if EQ wins, that's it. But if EQ loses, then they fight one more time, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
5th Jaguar Dragoons needs to come out with 2 wins in a row here in order to advance. So there's a fair bit at stake.
There's a lot
Had
of
some
money
good-
at stake. There's
good
a lot
drops
of money
so
at
far.
stake.
There is some money on the line. Yeah, that is right.
I think it's roughly 300, 400 per pilot from 3rd to 2nd place.
Very nice.
All right, I'm looking at Aubens here on the Team 1 side as they're coming in.
Command coming in. Capture
Grab
and
some
hold
mech
the
builds
resource
here.
point. Stop any hostiles that get in your way.
Crusaders triple ER large with small laser backup. That Spider was the LPL, this time with light machine gun backup. The Incubus Hero, the Saber with SRM build. And then Hellfire is Hag ER large. So looks like there's going to be some early play toward the Spider or the Incubus. One of them at least is going to be going for Theta, I would gamble. Blood Asp is Hags and ER large. Got Hags and ER large on the Orion.
This is a very
And-
flexible deck from
We
Abbins.
have Gamma.
They could potentially play to either side really with that.
They're sending a mech to the island early, getting a scout here for Aubens. What do we got on the 5th Jaguar Dragoons for mechs?
We got Grolsch in a ER large blood ass hugging that high ground behind the spawn. Jiffy and a Mad Cat moving down the wall towards Kappa. They sent one to Theta. He's in a Mad Cat 1, same as he was last time. We got a Monk and a Direwolf. That's the dual Gosp, like 5 ER larges. The very standard in comp right now. Then their light pack is roughly the same as it has been. Light peeps, small lasers on the fire starter, Shadowcat, 3 ER larges this time, 5 light machine guns.
And we
Gotta
do
double
have
check
one
this
mech
Phoenix on.
on
Phoenix Hawk's a
Theta.
light peep and a heavy peep.
The Theta's been
combination.
flipped by the Flea,
Ooh.
Dario and
Oh.
the Flea for
Abbas is
5th
sending
Jaguar
5 to
Dragoons.
Theta. Wait. Okay, they're turning
Oh,
around. Okay, 2 is going to Theta. The other 3 must have realized something because they turned around immediately.
Dario's
I
probably
really-
going to get out. What I'm looking at here is a push
there a
from
push?
the 5th Jaguar Dragoons. They've got the Phoenix Hawk, the Shadowcat, and
We
the
got a
Fire
full
Starter.
pack.
While that wolf pack was going toward Theta, they made a push through the water. They now have complete control over the island, and they are looking at grabbing the Epsilon cap. The Theta was a little bit of a bait, perhaps, here.
This is interesting. So, Abbin's team is balled up on Gamma now.
And they deny Epsilon. is a great question here because 5J now has a lot of very good skirmish mechs across the water at this point.
Yeah,
and they
Island
have
has a
good chance of
Direwolf and a
winning against
Mad
Sigma.
Cat on it right now for 5th Jaguar Dragoons as well. That's going to be a significant amount of firepower in a fairly strong position in terms of map control. They have the Epsilon cap. It's a 3 cap to 2 cap situation.
That's brutal
Now,
with traders set up on Island.
the traders on the island have excellent control over Epsilon, Gamma, and Sigma. Or sorry,
I have to say,
Kappa.
in this game state with the way things are set up and 5J's skirmishers along the waterline, I think this is 5J's game to lose.
It will take
Yeah.
a long time for those caps to take over at the 3-2 rate. So it's all about keeping healthy, not bleeding armor at this stage. I would.
Zeus is making a play for the cap. He already took one shot, but I think he might be able to get behind here and actually flip this.
Dario's looking at Theta again. There is a mech watching Teos in the Incubus, but looks
I'm
like
gonna swap.
Dario's
comms.
gonna make a play for Theta, which would turn this to a 4 cap situation, and a 4 cap is a scary thing to be facing.
I'm going to check on the comms of both these teams, see how they're handling it.
All right. I'm just watching the traders here. Mount Gatsu 75%, nothing open yet. Jiffy 82%, also likely still in
If
good
Evans could
health.
force that Direwolf down, they have a chance of taking their home cap back, which would be huge for them. Because that's honestly the most important cap on the entire map right now. And 5J's actually taken priority off of it, which I think is a mistake.
Yeah, we have the Void from the Hellfire Hero from Zeus attempting to grab that cap right now, walking back and forth on it. So far, the cap is still fairly in favor of the 5th Jaguar Dragoons. I'd say the bar is 2/3 full. And that Marauder 2CD is not going to be a mech that you want to put on the cap. Theta's been flipped.
Why is Adams not taking Epsilon right now?
They need a small mech to go for it, and the small mech goes elsewhere at the moment. Now the small mech has come back. The Spider is getting on that cap, trying to stay in cover and try to get that cap flipped, but it's a 4 cap to 1 situation right now. Caps are still under 400, but they're ticking up. There is a movement toward the water here, or crossing the water. Texan Scrublord already at 64%. Nothing's open. They are making a play. There we go, full push. Marauders in the water. So they are making the move to push for the island and see if they can get some kills and regain control over some of these caps. A desperation push. And for anyone watching right now, you can go over to MW Leagues 2. The comms will be available in there. Levels grabbing comms from one of these teams.
Yeah, I got some calls from
Epsilon
both teams already.
flipped.
I'm back.
Gives them a little more time. If they can send Selith around to get... I don't think it's possible. He's gonna have
2
to
caps right now.
Monk's gonna get
Gamma
picked
and
here.
Epsilon have both been flipped, so it's 2-3. There is a little bit more time here. But this
Monk and
push
Jiffy are
is
pulling
rolling.
back to receive, but they're both pretty injured with the little focus fire. They
Monk's
could
being
pick-
focused. Nothing important to open. Now Center Torus is open 47%, and they're
Yeah,
down.
Monk goes down. All right, they go to
Adams'
focus
mediums are
Jiffy neck.
bleeding,
That's the
though.
biggest threat.
Jiffy 70%. Nothing's open as well, but Mad Cat, the hitboxes are not overly favorable. Texan Scrublord getting a bit ahead of the push here, drawing a fair bit of aggro. Side Torus is open. Both the legs are still healthy on that Shadow Cat.
Jiffy getting an angle here.
Caps at
Lays into
540,
Teos.
360.
Whiffs a lot of his shots. Does not get as much damage into Teos' Incubus as you would expect. But Abins is here about to circle these guys here. In the
Yeah.
water.
Very low percentage mechs though. Scout Derek at 30%. I'm
Yeah,
guessing
this will be a
Side
very
Torso.
costly push in the end. Yeah, Texan goes
Texas
down.
Scrublord goes down. So it's about speed and ability to get to caps. That's who's surviving are their legs. There has been a decap on Sigma. Just a decap getting back in the fight. Taking the cap itself, not a priority at the moment for Avens.
Zio's using that high alpha to yeet the fire starter.
Relish just started rotating underneath the platform. I think they still needed 2 caps here, the 5th Jaguar Dragoons. They have 1 mech going for a back cap. And they have a little bit of a mech here. Teos coming in to try and grab Kappa.
Oh, Teos has a good position.
How long that can be denied? 600
Teos
caps
is
to
trying
to shoot him.
430.
Teos needs to be fighting first here. He can't stand on this cap. This Basra needs to die
We've captured
if they expect to win this game.
JP Django is bailing out for a different fight now. There's a fight over on the Gamma cap. Lizzie's getting jumped. Absolutely drilled center torso. That mech
Sell it, Yeast
not able to
Rolls
fight
there.
back. And then that frees up a mech to go for Epsilon. Epsilon's going to be flipped here by Brower. This is going to go the way of the 5th Jaguar Dragoons. There's This one is one for the books in a couple of seconds here, in my mind. Gamma being flipped, and then with Theta and Gamma and Epsilon, there just are not enough legs to go get caps for Aubins.
They have resource point Gamma.
This was an interesting match. I like the push initially. I just think they got the 3 mechs, but they lost 2 for it. It was a very costly push, and
This
might
is
have
a
cost them
strat
too much in the end.
I haven't seen a team execute yet. It was a bait on Theta, and when too many mechs went to look at Theta, the water move gained the island control, and island
That
control is
was
a
such a
powerful
ballsy
thing.
move, though.
Yes, it's not something I've seen a team execute so far in this tournament. Might have been a strat that was saved, might have been a strat that was recently
Yeah, I don't think.
perfected.
Yeah, you're right. I don't think we've seen it. I think we saw Emmy try it, but their bigs got they sent their bigs to island, and they got shut down on island by the
Yeah.
oh, I think it was actually
Currently,
5JGX.
it's 1 cap to 1. Epsilon has Gamma's been decapped. Epsilon has not been taken. Hellfire went down though, and you know it's all about that Theta right now. Tios looks like they are legged, so they're nowhere near a cap. JP Django still has both legs at 64%. Legs are both very open, but open legs still move like regular legs. So it's going to come down to that Theta cap actually right now, and Epsilon still being contested as well. And there's a mech going for Gamma, so plenty of mobility remaining for 5th Jaguar Dragoons as JP Django gets legged.
Dario
but
being as fresh as he is. Yeah, I think this is going to definitely.
yeah, Spider's leg from
Don't want
Saleth,
to be
so
a
they can't make
buzz
Theta.
kill, but this game is over.
Oh, it's
Just
been over
Theta
for a bit.
alone, Avens can't get it before
Yeah.
it ticks to 750.
Waddle, my little spider buddy, you can do it. He tried. Missed the water.
We're going to map 5.
Avens almost pulled it off by exerting that pressure on the island. Like I said, I think that 5J pulling away from Epsilon early was kind of a mistake. But they
In my
gave
opinion,
Avens an opportunity to slip in and kill their traders and take some momentum into their bag caps.
they got
If
greedy
Avens
for
played
Theta.
if Avens had played that a little more aggressively in the late to mid game, they probably could have pulled that off.
I think overall
They
Evans
kinda
actually did
slowed
more
down
damage.
after that initial push, though.
Bowser and Kong over 200 damage each.
Primarily referring to Avens. Avens Wolfpack could have been a little more grouped up and decisive. I think Tio should have gone forward a lot earlier. It's possible that could have made the difference if he had gotten on top of the Blood Aspen or the Phoenix Hawk there at the end. Just get a leg off the Phoenix Hawk and get away.
Yeah. I think this mainly came down though to 5JDX being greedy for the 4 cap. They had Kappa Sigma Epsi and they were like doing okay on trades. So they decided to go for Theta, get the 4 cap instead of just calming down, playing safe, playing slow. And it almost lost them a drop.
Very close too.
Yep. It's a good match to see though. That was...
Alright, while we get these teams set up, I'm gonna let you guys talk map strats. We're talking about Crimson. Last map's Hibernal, right? This is where it all rests on.
Last map is a Hibernal indeed.
Yeah, for both these teams, second place is within reach. There's just
We're going to best of 5 here. This is one of the few best of 5s we've had. These teams are demonstrating that they are evenly matched, and winner from here gets to go on and face against Equilibrium. So pretty exciting. 5th Jaguar Dragoons is a team 1 right now. They're on the clock for picking their mechs.
Picking south side on Hibernal is very interesting.
Oh. Shoot. Sorry, Meta Council. I just realized that I have not had my stream up for it. Oh, I'm sorry.
We have managed. See, we don't need to see the game. You're doing such a good job casting that we can tell what's going on just by hearing the radio cast.
Well, at least it's not an actual radio cast. We had that last year when I did casting. More
Alright.
times than I care to admit.
You guys ran through Crimson, or is there anything more to talk about what we just watched on that?
I mean, what happened is that Team 1 gets very easy Theta control because they can send more mechs. Team 2 goes and grabs Epsi. They can like fortify this ridge line, which is what you saw 5JDX doing. And then Epsi is really easy to hold with traders from Island. So now Team 2 has 3 cap, a very safe 3 cap. And then 5JDX, in my opinion, got overly greedy, and they went 4 Theta and they pulled off of Epsi. And then Abins took that opportunity to just go send it at them. That is my very quick rundown of what just happened.
It was just tough that Abin's faster mechs really bled a lot during that push. They kind of had to lead that aggression onto the bigs in order to get them down in time before 5J could decide to link up. And
they always say
that cost them in the late game because, like I say, the Incubus was really the only one that was fresh towards the end there, or serviceable at the end for Abins.
A single mech not being legged stepping onto Theta at the end there wins them the game, I think. If you can win the Gamma fight,
So,
yeah.
Question for you guys, the Meta Council. Instead of Abins pushing across this open ground, if they went this way to put all the enemy mechs to one side of them, so they weren't pushing with an assault here and assault here, would that have been more successful?
Not really, because you're giving them more time to shoot you.
Okay.
You're giving them more time to shoot you, and you're also giving up more of the map by doing that. At least by getting the mechs on Island, you then have the opportunity to have cap advantage on the water side of Crimson.
Okay.
So once you take you basically have a hope of holding onto your home caps while also taking 5J's caps, and then flipping the cap situation in your favor by staying on the water side and controlling the island.
Yeah, because you're pushing with traders, you also have this dynamic where, as you don't have to worry that much about like getting in range. As soon as your traders crest here, you are pinning 5JDX against these rocks. They can't be out in the open. They can't really run. Whereas if you run back here, you don't see anything, and then by the time you come out, 5J's traders might be like out here shooting you, and it's a lot harder to push into.
All right, Team 2 is on the clock, so we got 5 minutes here.
Ooh, 5 minutes to run through Hibernal. This is for everything. This is the one drop.
Yes, this is it. This is the one drop for all the marbles. And interesting. You know, I'm not sure. Obviously, push can be very strong on this map. I think we've seen that in a lot of the higher rated matches on Hibernal the last 3 or 4 weeks. I'll be interested to see if either team opts to play control. 5J stacking Alpha from the Team 1 side is very interesting. They could be going for a Kappa side control strat, or they could equally be going for a Charlie 2 trench push. It's really difficult to read.
Oh yeah, I mean it is mostly light mechs in Alpha though. Only one trader.
Yeah, mostly.
And they do have. They have basically one trader in every lance. I'm assuming one trader is getting the back cap because you want your lights to be fast, and then Grolsch and Charlie probably setting up on Bucket Hill over here. And Monk and Alpha, I mean, I'm assuming Radio Tower.
It has to be Radio Tower.
Yeah.
It also could just be them trying to not give away a split push by putting Jiffy in Bravo and saying, hey, we're getting our home cap, and here's a trader in the furthest back spawn
and then
point.
Jiffy.
In reality, yeah,
and then
reality,
Jiffy's in the mislinks.
Or a mislinks, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, classic.
I wonder if Abins will opt to push on this map.
475 again. 5J really does like.
I really feel like Team 2 receive is. You know, I don't like receiving on either side of this map, but Team 2 has the better receive I think, on this map than over Team 1. And push is equally strong from either side.
I'm not sure actually. I think Team 1, if you're like aware of the push, it has a pretty, but it's like harder to scout the push from Team 1.
Yes. Yes, it really is.
So Team 1 is all about, can you scout the push in time and set up, and then you just you kind of just win. Whereas Team 2 is all about, yeah, can you play it properly? You don't really, you're gonna scout the push in time. There's no sneaky ways they can come up on you.
Are we thinking that teams are going to push? I mean, the decider match here, are teams going to play cautious, or are they just going to go all in?
That's a good question. I could see them playing cagey. No one wants to like throw, right? This is it. This is the match.
You'd expect
that is another
them.
huge factor, just mentally. That's a huge factor. Even though aggressive strats are strong on this map, they might just get a little bit nervous or just play a more flexible deck in an effort to avoid that. So
you'd expect them to play cagey and slow, but push strats are incredible for when you're nervous, when it's a high stakes situation. You just hold W and shoot legs, and you can't really make that many mistakes, and it's all over so quickly that you can't get caught up in pressure. So
I gotta say,
I can see it.
Whichever team decides to roll them bones and hold W on this map right now, I favor them.
Same.
If they both
I'm rooting
do it,
for them.
If they both do it, I favor Abins because Abins thrives in chaos. That's my prediction.
All right, both teams are locked in. Both teams are 475 tons.
1 second, let me make sure I got the right people muted. And we're good.
All right, here we go.
This one's for all the marbles, boys. Who fights EQ? Oh shoot, this whole time I had the map room open. Whoops.
Yeah, this determines first place versus second place. So, teams are going to be playing for the win, or not first and second. Sorry, who gets to play for first and who gets third. Wow. Next week determines first and second, or 2 weeks from now determines first versus second. Yeah, we got the big match here. Opportunity to play for first, maybe try and get revenge on Equilibrium, who has actually defeated both these teams already.
Trash team Equilibrium. They have this pilot called Shine Plasma. Don't even get me started.
They've also got this trash heap named GRAM who leads the team.
All right, I'm looking at mechs here real quick.
Okay, you got
we have a Crusader with heavy peeps, Bounty Hunter 2, that is a Marauder IS 75 tonner with Goss ER peep. Kodiak 3, was not expecting that. UAC 10, Dual Hag 20. Stalker 6 ER large. That Kodiak 3 is very unusual to see here. I don't know if I've seen any Kodiak 3s yet this tournament.
We have. I believe DSC used one.
Solid pick on this map, especially in the hands of somebody gifted with projectiles like Bowser.
Grolsch over here, ER larges, 6 ER larges. Jiffy's in a PPC summoner with a laser fist. Now Monk is in a Death Strike, double checking. That's Dual Hag 30s, heavy lasers, ER larges. That's the classic Death Strike build, but the Goss has been replaced. Crusader, the same one he's been running.
Abins with the early cap control. Something we forgot to mention earlier is that Team 2, if you have a sufficiently fast mech, gets priority on Theta on this map.
The Theta's being flipped right now, though. It was taken early, but it's almost been completely decapped. There's a Mad Cap moving up here, a little bit of a pressure play over Theta. Probably not a push, though. Neither team is set up to push. A lot of skirmishing
Brower's
going
making
on.
a play for Epsies.
Kappa's being flipped.
Yeah, Kappa's being flipped. Brower, I think, is going to flip Epsies once he peeks again and realizes that Viper that was taking pot shots out of has gone further away.
No early damage of any significance yet. Caps are currently 3-2 in the favor of 5th Jaguar Dragoons, as they do get the flip on Theta. So the early cap lead on Theta disappearing relatively quickly here for Abins.
Now, 5JDX has 4 mechs on Theta right now, including an assault.
Kodiak is
being a bit early.
There's a bit of a rotation here coming out of Abins. I'm not entirely sure where it's going. They are going to be playing toward Kappa side, is what they're declaring. They're giving up the Epsilon cap.
Yeah, they're giving up the FC side. They might be able to turn this to a 7 before if 5JDX doesn't notice this whole rotation.
I'm
Because
watching
it looks like they're
this.
getting ready to get aggressive here on this flank. And there's
Yeah.
3 mechs out. They have, yeah, 5JDX has 3 mechs who cannot get in this fight.
Oh,
if
Zeos
Abins
just took a big
forces it.
hit. Side torso is open 48%. Nothing lost yet, but they are very close to losing a number of their weapons and a bunch of their speed. JP Django, this Kodiak has
Can they
not been
catch the
scouted yet. There's no
Crusader here?
UAVs.
Can they catch the Crusader? This is the most
Bowser's
important fight of the entire
made
series.
it to the
right here.
ramps. Open
Oh,
center
Bowser
torso
gets
instantly.
laid into in the Kodiak.
Oh my
Bowser
It's a
goes
Kodiak.
down. Hard
Crusader
CT
opens
by
side
3
torso.
mechs.
Yeah, Kodiak's got a giant center torso. There's a reason it hasn't been very popular this tournament.
I'm swapping over to
Malgatsu,
Cobbs.
mostly just heat damage, it looks like, or rear damage perhaps from a strike. Theta's been decapped in this entire situation that's going on here.
Now the game's not over. Abins has quite a few skirmishy mechs, and you know these teams are pretty good at spreading damage. So we'll see if they can get a counter pick here. The Crusader's soft, the Madcap Mark II is soft, and they're relatively vulnerable to all this skirmishy stuff going on around Theta.
Right now, the
It's possible
Stalkers
Abins
moved
can
up
turn this back.
for 5th Jaguar Dragoons. They are looking to establish full map control here over the 3-cap situation. We have a rotation up that quick play ramp. See how this works out. JP Django's been not legged yet in that Crusader. 50% though, very low there. Now has been halved in that Crusader, and they're cooking as well. So they go down from a rear shot, it looks like, but they were cooking as well. Montgatsu's been lost an arm, so one of the hags is gone. Side course is open 48%, but most of the weapons are still there. Go Derek, very low, 53%. Open side torso. Very hard push here for Theta. Montgatsu's trying to get out.
Their comms from both teams on this one.
Decisive movement from Abins. Can they get a pick?
Ooh, they got
one.
Buck.
Cougar is playing danger
they're going to pick
close.
Cougar.
Open side
They got
torso.
Cougar surrounded. Are they going to get it killed quick?
Yeah, both legs are open on Cougar. It's staying alive for quite some time.
Yeah, surprisingly, Scout Derek goes down.
Wow. Cougar's finally been legged. 31% in that Phoenix Hog. Grolsch is probably cooking. Also, center torso open on Grolsch in that Stalker with the ER large build.
Peel off and go for their home cap, honestly.
Viper
Texas
lost
down to
both
this low
arms,
ground.
still has
Zeos?
both side torsos
Ooh,
for
Zeos is
Zeos.
getting 2v1'd.
Bacon Lord in the low ground needs to get in a better position here before they get jumped. Caps are 4-1 right now. It is still under 400 caps in the favor of 5th Jaguar Dragoons. Grolsch is the next target. They're going to get jumped here in a second, but the targets going for them are quite low, so there might be an opportunity here
Zeos
to knock a
somehow
leg
gets
off.
away by the skin of his teeth.
Both legs open
that could
on
be a
Texan
big
Scrublord's
factor in this
Phoenix
game.
Hawk, or Firestarter. Teos's Phoenix Hawk, both side torsos are open. That's probably an extra light engine the way that it's moving, and that loadout.
Ooh, I thought Brower was going to pick Teos, but Jiffy nails him.
Bacon Lord
across the way.
here, keeping it alive. Looks like they have all their weaponry still. Yes, it's an open side torso on that Vapor Eagle rival. All the weapons are in the arm, so that arm doesn't matter as well. The right arm, I believe that's the ERPPC arm. But this situation looks really good right now for 5th Jaguar Dragoons, both caps and percentages. Their mechs are a little bit scattered and they are outnumbered, so there is a chance here for Abins to come back. Viper's been halved though, that will reduce its speed, and the speed is quite relevant right now. Mech Warrior numbers in that Marauder goes down, center torso. Jeffy's doing a little bit of cleanup in what looks like a pretty fresh mech
Lizzie
here.
and that Stalker at 17%. I gotta see what the HP is. He's a full stick.
Standard engine, yeah, no weapons left on Lizzie, just trying to grab the cab, does not succeed.
Looks like 5J's pulled it out.
Yep. So
Holy
5th Jaguar
crap.
Dragoons are going to advance to play Equilibrium,
Yeah,
assuming no miracle
5JDX
happens
moves
here.
on for a chance at first place, and Abins has settled in third.
Third place, that's a pretty good
That's-
finish.
It's a very good finish.
And you know, they went to 5 drops here. They went to 5 drops last week. Abins did against Equilibrium. Very good match there as well. These teams are all very close to each other, is what it looks like right now. We could have a very good match coming up 2 weeks from now on December 2nd.
Now, that push Abins did, I thought it looked really strong, and then I'm not sure what happened. Like I'll draw on the map real quick while we have a sec before we see if the teams want to do interviews today. me swap over to the map room so I can show you what I'm talking about. Experts, you can please weigh in. So, let's draw here. Abins was red, right? So they came around this corner, right? Or whoops, wrong corner. Whoop. Came around here. They had mechs coming this way, and they had like a few down here, and I think one up here. And then Bowser. Let's change this thing. Bowser peeked here, and he got immediately focused by 4 mechs up here, the JGX mechs. I was thinking that if they did this push and Bowser was the inside of like a door hinge, and these guys
Oh yeah.
came this way and then forced the firing line this way instead of Bowser here and these guys jumping around him, where he just ate all the alpha from all 4 of these mechs here. I feel if they went wider, they would have picked these 4 mechs because they had half the team over here in Epsies.
If Abin's Wolfpack had been a bit more decisive on that corner, that would have been a game-winning play for Abin's actually. But Bowser, in my opinion, kind of got sold a little bit. I think that they were aware that 5J's assault mechs were there. There was just some sort of disconnect between Bowser and the Wolfpack, and that's why he got kind of hung out to dry there. But that was definitely an advantaged fight for Abins if they were able to take it. It's very odd. I did not expect their lights to hold back like that on that corner.
Getting the Kodiak pick really sucks. It's 100 tonner down basically for free. But that was a masterclass from Abin trying to come back 7v8. They got it really, really close.
They
really
did.
Close. But 5J was just too clean that match. It was way too clean in drop 5.
I have no idea what even to say about that drop. I think that was the closest we've gotten this year, and we've had some really close drops.
All right. So we have the team leaders from both teams in here with us. First, I want to say, Brower, Bacon Lord, congratulations on moving on to the next round. You guys will be fighting for first place. As I understand it, if you win, you have to win twice to win the tournament.
Yeah.
Nikyu just has to win once. With that said, Bowser, Tios, it's been a pleasure watching Abins play this season, and watching you guys even play today. It's been nail-bitingly great matches. Some of the best Mech Warrior all year, but that's expected at this high level. I'll start with you guys.
Yeah, just real quick. Bowser, GG, Tios, GG. Was a fun match.
Yeah, GG's.
Definitely GG's, man. Good stuff.
So I'll start with the Bowser, Tios. You guys put up a great fight especially on that last match. You guys had this push going. We were just talking about it in the cast. It'll come up in a few minutes, but I'll let you guys know. You guys had this push around Theta, around that corner. You guys had like almost your whole team ready. But we thought you guys were just about to run over 5J ADX.
That's
2 mechs on FCs. Go ahead.
That's what we were trying to do. That was the goal. And looking at the VOD now, as I literally suicide to my death, I was ahead of my team. There's just nothing more to say. There's honestly nothing more to say to that.
But otherwise, I mean, even though losing you at that critical junction of the match, you guys still fought it to the bitter end, right? It wasn't like, oh, you guys lost 100 tons, which is over 1/5 your total tonnage. And it's not like you guys got steamrolled. You guys fought it to the very end. So very good job. Do you guys got any thoughts of the season so far? Or how it was, I should say.
I know I should be sad, but I am laughing because 5JD for the past 2 years has gotten second. And well, no, because
they start off rough, dude. They start off rough,
and
then just magically get the plot armor. It's so weird.
Yeah, no. Every year, everybody votes like 5JD is not going to make it to the grand to the grand finals, and then somehow you guys just get your shit together last minute.
I knew they'd fucking make it far. It's just that's how it goes with them. So
it was funny because lost their roster. And then I think in our first 5 comp Q matches, we lost 2, which so that kind of sucked, but here we are.
I think
Uh,
5JDX, they just get a huge buff in the losers bracket final. They physically cannot lose it.
It's
Also
like
on
a
that
it's like a hidden passive buff.
On
But
that
I
note,
would
I
like to
think
think secretly, Honey, because God
Yes.
wills it.
yes.
Honey will do.
Jesus.
The real question is,
Deus
what does
will-
Honey predict for the next match?
Dude,
That's the only thing I want to
dude.
know.
Dude,
It's
Jace
scary.
Cat is a witch, and and everyone needs to like burn that cat. at
I'm
the stake.
sacrificing
This is-
multiple mechs this week for Honey.
One thing I wanted to say is we got a chance to jump into your guys' comms. We weren't in them very long each drop, maybe 15 to 20 seconds per team each drop. Mainly on the second channel. I wanted to say thank you guys for letting that be a part of the season. It was great listening to your guys' teams. The way you guys talked to each other and coordinated. It was magical. I mean, for high end teams, maybe that's normal, but for everyone that's not in that high end, it was a good insight of like the difference between the lower end comms and Div C and below and the top end guys, and listen to you guys coordinate and the way you guys talk and stuff. It was great. And good news is no issues. Everything was above board.
Always a good thing.
I will say Scout Derek's fun in the comps. So was all.
So do you have any questions for us or anything that OJ's calling me? I should probably not answer this. Any
So-
questions or anything you want to highlight or you want to
Did
ask
you guys-
us on
so-
the meta panel?
Yes. One thing I do want to ask specifically on Crimson. You guys said we saw something that hasn't been seen yet. At least not that any of us casters remember seeing. You guys said a light pack through the water. At first they looked like they were heading towards Epsi's side, and then they just cut beeline towards Epsi's and managed to take that cap. But like that much open ground, like we've seen other teams attempt it. I think Emmy tried it against 5JDX a couple weeks ago, and but they had all their traders on island when they did it, and their lights just got
You want me to
eaten
explain it?
alive. Yeah.
Okay. So we said scouted that their 3 heavy mechs were going around the back side of the map towards Theta, and that their light pack was going around the back side towards Theta, and that their assaults were on their cap when they're home. I'm like, all right, we'll just push their bigs. So we'll push our assaults up to island, and we'll push their bigs. So we do that, and we get up to the point that we're basically pushing their bigs, and we notice that their heavies are already coming back. They're turning around, their light packs here, their assaults are set up. So my call was turn around, take the base of their side of platform, like the platform thing, and now we have them encapsulated in one spot of the map, and we have the entire map. And we'll just play it from there. We'll play it where they have the one thing, and we have the rest of the map. We'll take Theta, and we'll just sit there and pick out. And from there, they chose to skirmish for a bit and then push island.
Mm-hmm.
So, because we realized that like we were basically gonna push into like a bad spot, and like the best thing to do at that point was to immediately stop and back off and take the map control that we got from pulling them in from the push. It was like, I guess you could say, a feint.
Yeah. So to add on to that, Bowser, when that happened, what was going through your team's view? Because we weren't in comms at that time. We were still watching.
On Crimson?
Yeah. When they managed to get 3
we
mechs
knew
over
when
Epsi's.
we knew when they started encircling us, like we needed to push. In my opinion, it's hard to call to tell at the time, but in my opinion, we were too slow to push. That's just a short, simple amount of it. We were too slow to push. I think if we pushed a little sooner, because we had fresh mechs when we pushed too. That's the biggest thing. I think a counter push would have been really difficult. That maybe would have been an option as well. Would have been extremely screened and telegraphed, but I think we had to repush a little bit faster, and that's all there is really to it.
I just got a couple more questions for you guys as a whole that doesn't revolve around the match you guys just played. So we saw the Hags, X-Pulse, come into the game during this Comp Q. How did you guys? What was the process, if you don't mind, the process for the lower end teams? How did you guys manage to adapt to those new weapon systems?
Go for it, Bowser.
I would say very strongly. I mean, hags are ridiculously overpowered, and the fact that I'm just going to stand in the soapbox a little bit. The fact that the Cauldron as a whole doesn't realize that hags are just ridiculously overpowered and terrible for the game, I think says a lot. That like they don't actually play the same game, and I think we're seeing it very evidently in comp. And I think anyone who's seasoned in quick play is the very, very, very same. And I realize as a member of the Cauldron, I am part of this, but I've really been pushing my best to change them. And basically, people want to change a lot of soft stats. But I think the reality with hags right now is they're way too effective DPS, they're way too effective range, they're way too effective pinpoint, they're way too effective in every metric alpha, every single regard. So people want to like tone down their velocity and their alpha and their range, or not even their alpha, sorry, like their range, their velocity, and like the cooldown. But that doesn't change that you're still getting drilled by a gazillion damage at 1 kilometer. And it's just like, I don't know. It's
getting toned down. So
I'm sure
it's
it
just
is
too slow.
It's too slow, and I mean, I would say we adapted very well to hags. Honestly, I felt like we got a ton of mileage out of our hags always. And I mean, we scrimmed you guys a lot, and you guys, I mean, were the first to literally. I mean, you guys were very often the first to see a lot of what we brought in scrims, and then EQ the rest of it. So like, I think we got a ton of mileage out of hag mechs. They're just crazy good on literally everything.
They have
any
their
like
pros
single
and cons,
ballistic heavy.
for sure.
And
Yeah,
especially
but
on
like,
some
you can,
Pros far outweigh.
you can play range and you can stop a push because like first mech that pops up, it's like basically
So much
dead already.
alpha. Like dual hag 60, that's 60 alpha instead of 30. And then the argument is like, oh well, you can spread and whatnot, but like it's still pretty meaningful damage.
And you add the lasers on top. Like I think for me that's like a big thing. You have to not be able to do that side of it, the combo.
They're getting toned down. The argument I've seen for it, you know, I don't mean to detract from like the match and talk about game balance shit, but like they just don't
Yeah, I
wanna
mean,
change
it's
too
kind
much.
of-
They don't want to change too much at once. They just change small changes. So
I get
But
it.
As,
but,
as
I
far
mean,
as adapting to the new weapons, it was kind of scary at first because it's been a lot of changes. Like binaries, you could fire 4 of them, so it's like you take a peek and then like Gigadunk, you know. Like there's some weird wonky builds that came out of nowhere, like Bowser the Atlas with the 3 binaries and the Goss. Like that thing slaps, you know. There's
like
a
the
lot of like
Charger Bowser, that one kind of.
Oh, that
is like
Charger!
surprise.
I
he
mean,
tried to headshot me. Who was in the Charger? Tried to headshot
Yeah.
me in the hatchman. I saw it.
Yeah,
I
it
saw
was
the
me.
lasers on the screen. I was like, oh,
Yeah, it
fuck,
was me.
dead.
Yeah, it was me.
And then I ran away, and I was like, oh, let's go get the other cap. And then the Charger's over there. I'm like, how the fuck did the Charger go from the literally opposite side of the map to the other one? Like, and like, oh, Bacon, it's a Charger. I'm like, okay, yeah, funny, but the Charger was good for sure. It was spooky as fuck, so you have to respect it.
Yeah,
You
I
have to
literally,
respect the damage on that
I
thing.
literally only been playing it for like a day and a half before that. So yeah,
No,
it's
that
strong.
thing was
So
really,
I would say
really scary. You're trying to get the torso hard, man. I was trying to protect it.
You want to think about like terms like that? I would say we adapted crazy fast. Literally, just picking up mechs and playing them within days with new weapons, and it's like
Now-
I think it's. Sorry.
Oh no, you're fine. I just have one more question, and I'll let you guys all get out of here. On IS side, we got XPL or X pulse lasers and binaries. Now the X pulse, virtually did not show up unless it's like a large X pulse. I think that's the only one that we saw at all ever. In the
I think we've seen
X-Pulse.
MXPL on push decks. I'm
On
pretty
hard
sure EQ
dedicated
and
push
PSG
decks,
have
yeah.
brought 'em.
Okay. Then binaries. I noticed that earlier in the tournament we saw binary, like early in the semifinals, we saw binaries used more. But as it's progressed, people kind of went back to ER larges and then just doubling down on the hat. Is there any from, since you guys are all considered professional esports guys here? What's up? You guys making money playing a game that technically makes you a professional. But why?
We'll get a
You
job
don't
at
see
McDonald's to
them
make
as
more.
much. I guess, like we saw Bowser take a quad binary mech today. But I mean, like the quad binary stalker and stuff, we saw a lot in earlier weeks, but more of the ER large variety in these later.
We
weeks.
took it as well on what's it's called, Vitric. Took it on Vitric too.
And then the Charger was binary, right? So I think it's like
Yeah,
the
quad binary.
smaller maps where you don't need the range necessarily, and maybe like sometimes you take like one mech for that range bracket, maybe you have more further back with Hag Bomb or something.
Honestly, I mean, just speaking from my own perspective, like kind of building decks and trying this mech sound stuff, I think they're so strong at like their optimal and lower that you can afford to take them even if you have to shoot past your optimal. I think it's not even about mid range. Like on that mining game, a lot of my shots were 700. Especially some of the early shots were 700, and towards the end of the game were all 700 when my weapons hit to 550. It's like, and you're still just destroying people at that range. And that goes for binary ear larges or anything like that. So,
as for now, I don't have any more questions that I could think of top of my head. Oh, I got one more. Sorry, guys. The last question. This one I know a lot of people in the community would like an answer to. We saw how give me 2 IS chassis and 2 clan chassis that weren't considered comp viable until the new weapon systems came out.
Hatchet Man.
Well,
Okay,
that's
now,
not
yeah.
new weapons, but still.
Chassis. You said chassis.
I will, yes. Okay. So the Hatchet Man, yes. I don't think we've ever seen anyone.
All of the
like,
Hatchet Man
bring it in
chassis
the
is
past.
viable, personal opinion.
Is that because of Cauldron updates?
I think it's just, I mean, probably partially, and then people are just like, the thing with this game is I feel like the meta is slow to develop sometimes. So it just like people start to slowly realize like, oh, like this works, it's pretty decent. Wow, you know.
LXPL Spider from Abins has been kind of a pain.
Yeah, we kind of.
I think
stole
that's
that.
like a
We
significant.
literally stole that because it's pretty good.
I don't know, honestly. 2 chassis, I really can't tell you, because honestly, like, even if the Spider just had large pulse or ear large, it would still be good because it got quirk buffed.
Yeah,
at some point during the tournament, it would still be good. Would it be taken as much? Maybe, maybe not, but it would still be very strong. And you'd still maybe see it capping with like medium pulses or a single large pulse or even a snub. I don't know, just spitballing. But I don't think the large X pulse is so good it's going to let you take the Spider when you normally wouldn't take it. Let me just put it that way.
Yeah, that's.
I hear you.
It's more like a buff to like that combined with the Spider buffs for like buffs to already good mechs. I don't know. I mean, from my perspective, I'm gonna have to say Charger. I think that's like the main one that comes to mind. Even though
plus with the recent buffs, yeah, pretty
the
good.
1A1 was already fairly decent, but it was very niche, I think. And it's like they kind of are not niche with the new weapons. So especially like the 3K.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that hidden in the patch notes for Tuesday, in the miscellaneous section, the Wolfhound change might be
the
pretty
armor
relevant.
change.
Yeah.
You'd love to see it.
Yeah, shoulder's no longer side torso, right?
Yep. I think the Wolfhound's pretty strong too. I love using it. I've used it quite a bit in scrims. I think it's a good mech.
I have noticed
for
Void
it is always that it has turbo massive side torsos and just gets side torsoed. So we'd have to test and see like, is it a little tankier now?
Oh, I imagine.
Well, yeah, the right
that
torso.
shoulder's kind of a
It's
muffy
still
shoulder.
ground bound. It's still ground bound, right? But yeah, we'll see. I don't know. Who knows?
All right. With that said, do any of you guys got any final thoughts you want to say before I start eating you all out of this channel and closing up the stream?
I just want to say thank you for casting. I know it's a lot of work, and I really appreciate you guys taking it on. So that's been great to see.
Well, we appreciate it. We do try to. We do give it our all, even as potatoes and amateurs it comes across. We do try.
I gotta say, big congrats to 5J. I look forward to facing you guys. I was really sad to miss our last match. So
Shut up.
I'm very excited for this. Well, I had my own wedding reception to go to, so I was a little busy.
On being married.
But we're going this time, okay?
Oh, you're getting married?
Oh, it's already done, man.
Oh, I'm on.
Congrats.
3 weeks ago.
Yeah, thank you.
4
I'm
weeks
on
ago.
15 years.
Appreciate that. I'm a very lucky man.
I'm with my high school sweetheart. We've been going on 15 years, not married yet.
All right.
Oh, you got
I think
anything to add, Therix?
I think we're ready to just wrap it up here.
All right.
Um,
You guys, thank you all for coming on the channel and giving us a little interview. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for the interview. Thank you for the cast.
You guys, Abins, it was a pleasure watching you guys play. I hope to see you guys back again next year.
We'll see.
5J. You got the, I guess, the final boss to fight now. Because EQ, I think, is
You know the argument everyone makes. That's the argument everyone makes. Because X team beat X team, then X team beat X team.
Yeah,
That's not really how it works.
It doesn't
That's
matter.
100% how.
No, that's what I'm trying to say. It doesn't matter. Like, it's really how you show up and how you rock up. Like, how's the team
It
feeling?
is.
Are people super nervous? Are they being timid? Are they making mistakes? Like, it's just who shows up and performs the best on game day. That's what's going to come down to.
Actually, I have one little comment here. With 5th Jaguar Dragoons winning here, they're going to be playing their 7th match of this tournament.
Oh, wow.
So that's actually, I did a little bit of looking the other day. That's actually the most in this current year of MWO Comp running this championship series. No other teams played seven matches in the World Championship Series. So that is a lot of games that they've been logging through here.
That's because they're tryhards.
I mean, we play the game because we like the game, right?
Dude, yeah, 100%.
hope so.
I will say, if you just happen to be someone who's just tuning out on Twitch, you have no idea what NWO is, give it a shot. It's a first-person shooter that has, I don't know, maybe some people consider this a hot take. I think it's more in depth than any of the other first-person shooters out there right now. But I don't know. It's not just about Twitch who can shoot the other person in the head the quickest, or and hold angles for headshots like they do in Counter-Strike. It's there's a lot more nuance to it, and no two matches play exactly the same, which I love. And a lot of high-end esports and some of the other first-person shooters, you see the same strategy used at the guy gets a sniper rifle, holds this corner, aims through the smoke, and shoots at a very specific pixel because that's where an enemy head will be at the peak of corner, right? That doesn't really exist in this game. That you can blow each other's arms off. What other games can you do that?
Well,
Okay,
I
so-
gotta say, thanks for having me, you guys. 5J, congrats on the W. Abin, sorry to see you dip out, but I guess somebody had to go down. I've got a split. Everybody else, you guys have a wonderful day, okay?
Yeah, all right. I'm gonna get everyone out of
GGs.
here. Then we're gonna close out this stream. You guys, there's the Meta Council. Thank you guys for showing up, Ghosty and Shine Plasma, and everyone else for participating, and all the viewers out there.
Okay, so we got one more match coming up in this tournament to wrap things up. Equilibrium versus the 5th Jaguar Dragoons. It's the grand finals. That is going to be taking place December 2nd. There's going to be a week for these teams to rest up a little, or they might be working very hard at adapting to the new patch that is coming out on Tuesday and prepping for their match. So December 2nd, the exact time will likely be finalized a little bit further in. Just keep an eye on tournament website for the update, or here on MW League's Discord, or hit a follow on MW Leagues and MW Leagues 2. We will be streaming it again. Equilibrium and 5th Jaguar Dragoons, it's going to be a best of 5. It is double elimination tournament, so what that means, Equilibrium being undefeated in the winner's bracket, if they end up losing the first grand finals, there will be a second grand finals immediately after, and the same teams rematching each other, and winner takes all. So they've got a little bit of a leg up here as a reward for staying in the winner's bracket the entire way through.
Yeah.
That, I believe, wraps it up for us here. So yeah, thanks for everyone for stopping by, giving a watch, a little follow on the channel, supporting the MWO Comp, and also buying the tournament supporter pack for those who have done so.
Yeah,
Giving a
I
little bit
think
of a
it's
prize
still on
pool.
sale. I think you can still
Yeah.
get it.
Still on sale.
the-
I don't know when it goes off of sale, but I wouldn't hold out very much longer if you're thinking
Yeah.
about buying it.
Even the lowest one will help the tournament, help the community, and also it comes with so many goodies. I think you get like 6 months of buff to your C bill and XP boost. So it pays for itself if you play the game more than just a couple hours a month. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I'm going to give a little bit of a thank you to the tournament organizers who are running this in the background. I'm not involved in that. I know that Level and Ivor are to an extent as referees, but you've also got Krasnopesky, Liveish, Not Bob, and Ralphie No Pants, I believe. I don't know if I missed
from
anyone
Black
there.
Pants Legion.
So yeah, a bunch
That
of
cult.
organizers doing things in the background that keep this thing running relatively smoothly. So Thank you to those guys for organizing this tournament for all of us, both the teams that play only in Comp Q or the teams that actually make it into the top 12 stage.
All right,
And
I have
that's
nothing
it
else
here
to
from
add.
me. So we're going to just be ending the stream here, I believe, unless if you have anything you want to chip in quick.
Nope, I have nothing to add. I've been Level. This has been Therax, and it's been our pleasure to bring to you this match from MWO CS 2023.
Yep.
See you
And
guys.
see everyone in a couple of weeks.